Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a surprisingly simple idea that actually packs a massive punch when it comes to achieving, extraordinary results. We're diving deep into The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. Think of this as your express ticket to the core wisdom of the book, expertly navigated for you.
Right.
Our mission today is pretty clear. We want to pull out the most actionable insights from all 18 chapters so that you, our listener, can cut through the noise and, frankly, achieve more by focusing on less.
Exactly. And we're going way beyond just a simple summary here.
Yeah.
We're really dissecting the key principles chapter by chapter, and then importantly, assembling them into a hands-on exercise, what we're calling your personalized one thing life plan.
Okay.
This isn't just about understanding the theory. It's really about equipping you with real, concrete steps you can start using, today.
Right now.
Right now. The central concept, the key that unlocks everything, is identifying that single most important task right now, your one thing that will make everything else either easier or, get this, completely unnecessary.
Easier or unnecessary. Like that.
It's powerful stuff. So, with that in mind, let's jump right into chapter 1, simply titled The One Thing.
Okay, chapter 1, The One Thing, the very foundation. What's the crucial takeaway here?
Well, it really boils down to the immense power of concentrated focus. It's about intentionally directing your energy toward, one single priority at any given time.
Just one.
Just one. And the tool to unlock that focus, it's what they call the focusing question.
Ah, yes.
Which is, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary?
That question is deceptively simple, isn't it? Like, it sounds easy, but when you actually try to answer it...
It forces you to get really clear.
Yeah, laser focused. But it's not just about pondering the question, though. It's about what happens next, right? Taking that immediate action.
Absolutely.
It's about simplifying your efforts to get significantly better results.
Think of it like this. Instead of scattering your energy across, say, 10 different tasks and making a tiny bit of progress on each.
Which we all do sometimes.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Instead, you channel all that energy into one critical task and make real, actual headway.
Precisely. And that leads us right into chapter 2, the domino effect.
Okay.
This chapter beautifully illustrates that big success, it rarely comes from one giant leap,
Yeah.
Instead, it's usually the result of a sequence of small, well-chosen actions, each one setting the stage for the next. Like, imagine lining up a series of dominoes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need some massive shove to topple the whole line. You just need to flick that first one in the right direction.
So it's all about smart prioritization, every single day. Making sure that first domino you tap is the one with the most leverage.
Yes.
And it's not just about doing things, it's about the order, thinking sequentially.
Exactly. Sequential, those small, consistent actions, even the ones that seem kind of insignificant on their own, they can create this incredible compounding effect over time. It's amazing.
Geometric progress, they call it.
Right. And it's great to have those big, ambitious goals, but this chapter reminds us that achieving them really comes down to consistently lining up and knocking over those daily dominoes.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's fascinating when we think about, setting up those dominoes effectively is explored in chapter 3. Success leaves clues.
No.
This encourages you to actively study those who have already achieved the kind of success you're aiming for. Like, what was their one thing? What single area of focus really propelled them forward?
So it's like identifying your personal benchmark or your one person, as the summary puts it.
Mm-hmm.
A model. This could be a mentor, maybe someone you admire, someone who kind of embodies the success you're after.
Right.
And it's not about blindly copying their every move, is it? It's more about identifying that core passion or that key skill that was the engine of their success.
Exactly. And seeing how you can adapt your own one thing in a similar vein, especially as circumstances change, things evolve.
Yeah, definitely. The examples of, say, Bill Gates' relentless focus on software early on, or Apple's unwavering commitment to user-friendly design, they really underscore this idea, don't they?
They really do. They weren't trying to do a million different things at once. They found their one thing.
They nailed it down.
They did. And this understanding naturally leads us to challenge a really common belief in chapter 4, the idea that everything matters equally.
Oh, that's a big one.
It is. This chapter introduces the incredibly powerful 80-20 principle, the insight that roughly 80% of your results tend to come from just 20% of your efforts.
Okay, let's dig into this 80-20 idea a bit more. It's about being, well, brutally honest with yourself, maybe,
Ruthlessly honest.
and pinpointing those vital few tasks that truly drive the majority of your progress.
Right.
The chapter suggests creating a success list, which is essentially flipping your traditional to-do list on its head.
Yeah. Instead of a to-do list, a success list.
Prioritizing based on impact, not just urgency. And this also inherently means getting comfortable with saying no.
That's hard for a lot of people.
It is. Saying no to the things that don't truly matter, those tasks that might feel pressing but don't actually contribute significantly to your goals.
Yeah.
It's a conscious decision to pause and prioritize, rather than just reacting to every ping and notification.
Yes. Stop reacting. Start prioritizing.
Because not every task you face deserves the same level of your time and energy.
Exactly. And when you're fiercely focused on that crucial 20%, what often becomes your biggest obstacle? It's often that siren song of multitasking.
Ah, multitasking, the myth.
Exactly, which is precisely what Chapter 5 addresses head-on. It highlights the surprising inefficiencies and, frankly, the added stress that come with trying to juggle multiple tasks simultaneously.
It's almost a liberating message in today's, always-on world. We're often told to be these multitasking superheroes, but this chapter really shines a light on the cognitive cost.
There's a real cost.
Constantly switching gears. It drains you. Minimizing distractions, creating dedicated time blocks, specifically for your one thing.
We'll talk more about time blocking later. It's critical.
Understanding that our brains simply aren't built for effective multitasking. These are crucial takeaways. It's about embracing what Cal Newport calls deep work, right?
That's precisely. Those uninterrupted, high-quality stretches of focused effort that yield real results, not shallow work.
Right. Which naturally brings us to the vital element of consistency. That's the focus of Chapter 6, a disciplined life. Now, this chapter makes a really important distinction, I think. It's not about constantly relying on sheer willpower, which, let's be honest, can feel like a massive uphill battle sometimes.
That's exhausting.
Yeah, it's about strategically building habits around your one thing.
Yes. This really clicked for me, too. The idea of concentrating on forming one key habit at a time.
Just one.
Just one. Giving it around 66 days, that's the average they suggest to really solidify.
Okay, 66 days.
Tracking your progress, acknowledging those small wins along the way, it makes the whole idea of achieving significant things feel much more attainable, more sustainable.
Yeah, much more than just trying to grit your teeth and power through with sheer discipline alone. It's about building a system, really. A system that supports your focus.
Exactly, a system. And speaking of willpower, Chapter 7, Willpower is Always on Will Call, offers some incredibly practical strategies for managing this, well, precious but finite resource.
This is such a key point.
Yeah.
Recognizing that willpower isn't an endless tap.
It runs out.
It really does. And understanding how it naturally ebbs and flows throughout the day. So strategically scheduling your one thing for those peak willpower times off in the morning for many people.
Yeah, tackle the most important thing when you're fresh.
Right. And actively taking steps to recharge it through proper rest, good nutrition, exercise, the basics, but they matter.
They matter hugely for willpower.
Simplifying your decisions in less important areas to avoid decision fatigue, that's a big one too. And learning to wield your won't power. I like that term, to actively say no to distractions. These are all indispensable tactics for safeguarding your focus.
Yeah, that won't power is just as important as willpower. Now, a concern that often comes up when discussing this level of intense focus.
Right, people worry.
People worry about balance. What about everything else? Chapter 8, A Balanced Life, offers a really insightful reframe of this concept. It suggests thinking about balance not as a constant static equilibrium, but rather as counterbalancing.
Counterbalancing, okay, I like that image. So it's not about this mythical perfect state of having everything in perfect harmony all the time.
Which is impossible, really.
Probably. It's more about acknowledging that there will be periods of intense focus on your top priorities, your one thing.
Yeah.
And that this might temporarily create a bit of imbalance elsewhere.
Yes, temporary imbalance is okay. It's necessary sometimes.
The key is being intentional with that focus, right? Setting clear boundaries to protect that dedicated time, but also regularly checking in. Making sure you're not completely neglecting crucial relationships or your overall well-being.
Exactly. You swing the pendulum hard towards your priority, then you counterbalance.
It's a more dynamic, almost rhythmic approach to balance rather than a rigid one. I like that.
It feels more realistic.
Yeah.
And then Chapter 9, Big is Bad, takes a common saying and brilliantly turns it on its head.
Oh, well,
Bait argues that actually thinking big, setting those ambitious, even audacious goals is absolutely essential.
right. It's about challenging those self-imposed limitations we all have, embracing the possibility of achieving significant things, overcoming the fear of failure, which holds so many people back, cultivating a growth mindset, believing in your ability to learn and improve.
Yeah, that mindset piece is huge.
It's about taking those bold actions that align with your big vision, but also, crucially, remembering the power of starting small.
Think big, act small.
Exactly. Taking those initial steps to build momentum towards those seemingly enormous goals. Think big, act small. That's the essence.
It really is. And all of these principles, they kind of come together and are consistently driven by that central tool we've already touched on. Chapter 10 reinforces the fundamental importance of the focusing question itself.
Yeah, it really drills down on making the daily practice of asking that question just a non-negotiable part of your routine.
A habit.
It's about constantly striving for those great answers. Answers that are not just easy, but are genuinely doable, push you slightly outside your comfort zone, and are clearly aligned with your broader aspirations.
Doable, stretching, and aligned.
It's about weaving that big picture thinking into the very specific actionable steps within the question itself.
Yeah.
Making it a daily habit, applying it across all the different facets of your life, personal growth, career, relationships.
Everywhere.
It becomes your constant compass, doesn't it? Guiding your focus.
It absolutely does. And how do you transform that consistent questioning and focus into, tangible results? Chapter 11 delves into the practicalities of the success habit.
Okay, the how-to.
Exactly. This chapter provides the step-by-step guide for turning the focusing question into a deeply ingrained habit.
So back to that 66-day idea.
Back to the 66 days, that commitment to not only asking the question daily, but also acting on the answer. Diligently tracking your progress.
Keeping score.
Keeping score, staying consistent even with those small, seemingly insignificant actions, and even bringing in others for accountability that can be really powerful.
Yeah, telling someone helps.
It's about building that reliable engine of focused effort that drives you forward day after day.
Makes sense. Now, simply asking the question is just the first step, as we said. Chapter 12, The Path to Great Answers, offers crucial guidance on how to significantly improve the quality of those answers you generate.
Right, because the quality of the answer determines the quality of the result.
Exactly. It's about pushing yourself beyond the first, most obvious answer, really digging deeper to uncover those stretch answers that will truly move the needle.
Don't settle for the easy answer.
Looking at what the top performers in your field are doing, benchmarking their best practices, it's an iterative process, isn't it? Constantly refining your approach based on what you learn and what's working.
Definitely. And asking both those big, strategic, high-level questions and the very specific, tactical, ground-level ones.
Both perspectives.
Both. And again, recognizing the immense value of seeking out mentorship to gain access to those more profound and insightful answers, someone who's been there.
Yeah, learning from others. Which then leads us to the foundational why that underpins everything. Chapter 13 powerfully emphasizes the need to live with purpose.
The big why. This chapter is really the anchor for the entire philosophy, I think.
I agree. Defining your deeply personal big why. That core purpose that fuels your actions and gives them meaning.
It's your motivation fuel.
It really is. Ensuring that your daily one thing is actually in service of that larger, more significant purpose.
Yeah.
Using that purpose as your ultimate source of motivation when you inevitably face challenges.
Because you will face challenges.
Absolutely. And regularly taking time for self-reflection to make sure you're still aligned with your true north. Sharing your purpose can even create this incredibly powerful and supportive network around you.
It really can. It attracts the right people and energy. And once you have that strong sense of purpose, how do you translate that into tangible day-to-day action? Chapter 14 explains the crucial process of how to live by priority.
Okay, this is where the goal setting to the now framework becomes so valuable. It's like the bridge connecting those far-off someday dreams
Way out.
all the way down to the specific priority you need to tackle today.
Connecting the future to the present.
Systematically breaking down those large, ambitious aspirations into manageable, yearly, monthly, weekly, and most importantly, daily tasks. It's about clearly identifying that single one thing you can do today that will have the most significant impact on achieving your long-term vision.
That one daily domino.
That's it. Writing these goals down, reviewing them regularly, it forges that essential link between your overarching purpose and your immediate actions.
Yeah, writing them down makes a huge difference. And how do you maximize your effectiveness when you're focused on those present actions? Chapter 15 provides the practical strategies, how to truly live for productivity.
Okay, this is where the rubber really meets the road. Day-to-day execution, strategically time blocking that dedicated 2-4 hour slot in your schedule, specifically for working on your one thing,
Non-negotiable time.
and then ruthlessly protecting that time from any and all distractions. Turn off the phone, close the email.
Seriously, protect it like gold.
Planning your day proactively to ensure your one thing gets that prime high-energy slot. Creating a focused and conducive work environment. And consistently tracking your results.
Measuring what matters.
Right. Making sure that dedicated time blocking is actually translating into meaningful progress. These are the concrete tactics for getting the most out of your focused efforts on what truly matters.
Absolutely crucial. Now, achieving truly extraordinary results isn't just about individual actions and productivity hacks. Chapter 16 outlines the 3 commitments that are often necessary to make that significant leap.
Deeper stuff. These are the more profound commitments you need to embrace, right?
Yes. First, embarking on the ongoing journey of mastery. Continuously striving to improve your skills and knowledge in your one thing. It's not a one-time thing.
Lifelong learning.
Exactly. Making a conscious shift from a purely reactive, maybe entrepreneurial mindset to a more proactive, purposeful one. Thinking bigger picture. And third, and this is crucial, taking complete and unwavering accountability for your progress. Often with the invaluable support of a partner, a mentor, or a coach.
Accountability partners are key.
They really are. Actively seeking out expert guidance and demonstrating the resilience to persevere through the inevitable challenges and setbacks. That are the hallmarks of individuals who achieve truly exceptional outcomes.
That makes sense. It's a higher level of commitment. And what are some of the common obstacles that can derail us on this journey toward focused success?
Chapter 17 identifies the 4 thieves.
The productivity killers.
Yeah. The thieves that can insidiously steal our focus and productivity. What are they?
Okay, first, the tendency to say yes to absolutely everything that comes our way. The inability to say no.
People pleasing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Second, the paradoxical fear of chaos that can actually prevent us from effectively prioritizing. Like wanting everything neat and tidy before focusing.
Right. Perfectionism paralysis.
Third, neglecting our fundamental health and well-being, sleep, nutrition, exercise.
The basics again. Always the basics. And fourth, being surrounded by a non-supportive or even actively distracting environment.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It is. But the chapter offers really practical countermeasures for each. Learning the art of saying no gracefully but firmly. Accepting that some temporary disorder is okay when you're focused on what truly matters.
Embracing the mess sometimes.
Prioritizing your health as non-negotiables. Actively cultivating a supportive network. And consciously avoiding that victim mentality by taking full ownership of your choices and your environment.
Taking responsibility. Okay. Finally, Chapter 18, fittingly titled The Journey, brings all of these interconnected principles together with some overarching and inspiring thoughts.
Yeah, it's a fantastic way to synthesize the entire philosophy. Think big, but consistently act small.
There it is again.
Taking those manageable steps every day in alignment with your one thing to ultimately live a life with fewer regrets.
Living with no regrets.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Taking that crucial first step today. Consciously choosing to be driven by faith and purpose rather than fear. And deeply understanding the power of consistent small actions to build incredible momentum over time.
It's a powerful reminder that this isn't like a quick fix or a destination you just arrive at, right?
Not at all. It's an ongoing and rewarding journey of focused effort.
Okay, fantastic. And now, to make all of this resonate and become truly actionable for you listening, we're going to walk through the One Thing Life Plan.
Yes, this is a practical exercise designed to help you integrate these powerful takeaways into one key area of your own life.
Exactly. Think of this as creating your own personalized roadmap for applying these principles. Maybe in your career, your personal well-being, or even a key relationship. Choose one area to start.
Right. So step 1, define your purpose in that area. Take a few moments to really articulate your big why within that chosen area. What is the single most important thing you want to achieve that truly aligns with your overall life purpose?
That really matters to you there.
What would bring you a deep sense of meaning and fulfillment? For example, you might write down, My purpose is to build a thriving business that not only provides financial security, but also allows me to spend more quality time with my family. Something specific like that.
Okay. Step 2. Set a big goal and break it down. Identify a specific, ambitious goal that directly supports that purpose you just defined. Then, use that goal setting to the NOW framework we talked about.
Someday, 5-year, 1 year.
Right. What's your ultimate long-term someday goal in this area? What's a significant 5-year milestone? What do you want to achieve in the next year? Then break it down further. What does that mean for this month? What's your critical one thing for this week? And most importantly, what's the one thing you absolutely must do today?
Bringing it right down to the now.
Exactly. Let's say your big goal is doubling your income in 5 years. Maybe that translates to launching a new service this year, developing a marketing strategy this month, doing market research this week, and maybe contacting 3 potential clients today. That's your one thing for today.
Perfect example. Step 3. Create a success list. Make a list of all the tasks, big and small, related to achieving your weekly goal. Then, put on your 80-20 glasses,
Okay.
which 20% of those tasks will generate 80% of the results you're looking for this week. Ruthlessly narrow it down to identify your single most impactful one thing for the week.
So from maybe a list of 10 things.
Right. You might realize that, say, conduct in-depth interviews with 5 ideal customers to understand their needs is the one thing that will give you the biggest insights and move you forward the most this week. That's your focus.
Got it. Step 4. Time block your one thing. This is huge. Schedule a dedicated, uninterrupted 2-4-hour block of time in your calendar each day, specifically for working on that daily one thing.
Put it on the calendar like any important appointment.
Exactly. Ideally, schedule it for when your willpower and energy are highest, maybe morning, and protect this time fiercely. Turn off notifications, let people know you need focus, create a space that helps you concentrate. Also, crucially, schedule about 30 minutes each week just for planning and reviewing your goals and tasks. That planning time is key too.
Absolutely. Step 5. Build a support system. Identify at least one person who can support you with your one thing. Could be a mentor, a coach, even just a trusted friend or colleague as an accountability partner.
Someone to check in with.
Exactly. Share your goal with them. Ask for feedback, guidance, or just their support in staying on track. And consciously surround yourself with people who encourage your focus. Minimize contact with those who tend to derail you.
Choose your environment. Step 6. Develop the success habit. For the next 66 days, there's that number again. Make it a daily non-negotiable practice to ask yourself the focusing question. What's the one thing I can do today such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary?
Every single day.
Immediately write down your answer and, most importantly, take action on it. Keep a journal to track your daily one thing and note your progress. This daily ritual will help solidify the habit of focused action.
So each morning you might write, today's one thing, draft the proposal outline. End of day, note if you did it, any insights. Simple but powerful.
Totally.
Step 7, protect your productivity. Actively take steps to support your willpower and maintain your focus. Start with a healthy breakfast. Aim for 78 hours of quality sleep. Practice saying no to at least one non-essential request each day.
Just one no a day.
Just one to start. And learn to accept that there might be some temporary mess or unfinished tasks in less critical areas while you prioritize your one thing. It's okay.
Embrace the temporary chaos. Okay. Step 8. Review and adjust. At the end of each week, take that dedicated planning time to review your progress. Did working on your one thing move you closer to your goals?
Ask honestly.
What went well? What were the challenges? Based on your reflections, make any necessary adjustments to your weekly and daily one thing for the next week. And also, quickly check. Are your actions still aligned with your purpose?
Course correct weekly. Step 9. Think big, act small. On a monthly basis, revisit your big long-term goal. Make sure your daily and weekly actions are still ambitious enough to actually get you there.
Keep the big picture in mind.
Exactly. Break down those larger goals into smaller, manageable steps to maintain momentum and avoid feeling overwhelmed. And please, be sure to acknowledge and celebrate those small wins along the way.
Yeah, celebrate the progress.
It keeps you motivated and builds confidence.
Definitely. And finally, step 10. Live with no regrets. Each evening, take just a few moments for reflection. Did I act on my one thing today? Did I live in alignment with my purpose today?
Quick check-in.
Maybe jot down one thing you're grateful for accomplishing and one thing you might approach differently tomorrow. Use this nightly reflection to consciously guide your actions moving forward.
It helps you stay intentional. So here's the suggested timeline to get you started. Day 1. Tackle steps 1 through 5, set up your plan.
Get the foundation laid.
Right. Then commit to step 6, 7, and 10 daily for at least 66 days to build those core habits. Weekly, do step 8, review, adjust, and update step 3, success list. Monthly, revisit step 9, think big. And remember, steps 4, time blocking, 5, support system, and 10, no regrets, are ongoing practices.
Okay, that seems manageable when broken down. The essential tools you'll need for this are pretty simple, right?
Very simple. A notebook or journal, your calendar, digital or paper, and ideally that ongoing support from a mentor or accountability partner.
That's it.
That's really it. By consistently implementing this one thing life plan, you'll be cultivating a powerful ability to focus, building sustainable habits, ensuring your actions align with your purpose.
And the outcome.
The ultimate outcome, achieving truly extraordinary results in the areas that matter most to you, and living a life with significantly fewer regrets.
So to bring it all together, the core principle of the one thing is really that by identifying and intensely focusing your energy on that single most important task,
Just one.
you can achieve truly remarkable outcomes without feeling constantly scattered and overwhelmed.
Exactly. This deep dive has hopefully provided you with a structured framework and a concrete, actionable steps, all drawn directly from the wisdom of the book. The goal is to help you gain that crucial clarity and take deliberate control of your goals.
Okay, and here's your final thought to ponder today as you listen. What is the one thing, just one single action, that you will commit to implementing from this deep dive, starting right now?
What's your takeaway?
And what is the very first, smallest step you can take immediately towards making that one thing a reality? Don't overthink it, just the first small step.
And maybe take some dedicated time later today to really reflect on your own big why. Consider how identifying and consistently acting on your one thing, even in just one key area of your life to start, can ultimately pave the way for a more purposeful, more impactful, and, well, a more fulfilling existence for you.